to Golden Black Live. Now this, sometimes in life you get a chance to have somebody you've known for 43 years, Frank Kendrick, and to get to have him on the show. And now he's going into Hall of Fame. This is not as big a treat as it is for him, for me, but it is a big treat for me. Congratulations. What an honor for you, and so well deserved. And yes, I remember when you had just first come to Purdue, but you deserved it as a basketball player and then some in your contribution. But what does it all mean? I mean, how exciting.
Oh, it's hard. I don't know if I could put it all in words, but it's extremely exciting. Not just for me, because I don't look at it as for me. I look at it as a little bit for everybody, every one of my teammates, every one of my kids, everybody in this community, which I grew up with, and you and your family had a lot to do with me, not only just as a player, but as a person, and developing as a person. So that I want to tell you, thank you again for that. Your dad and mom.
My dad, but there were people that in your life, and it's interesting, the Bob Kings of the world, and so many that and Bob passed away a couple of years ago, but that had influences on you. I mean, you had a decision to make when you were a young man to come in here and put all your energies to playing basketball and getting it all forward, and there are a lot of people that had a lot to do with getting that done.
Absolutely, and I'll never forget them for that, boy. I always love them and praise them for that. You know, I can remember Coach Bob, as you said, Bob King.
Yeah.
You know, of course, I thought he walked on water.
Yeah.
We nicknamed him the Wizard.
Yeah.
The kids and I, because I don't know if you remember that little cartoon where this guy was always getting in trouble or something going wrong, and they holler, "Mr. Wizard, Mr. Wizard," and he twizzle, 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 twirl, time for these two to come home. And he'd always get you back and get you on the right track. So that's what we called him. That, but he would make he made a statement to me when after I met my wife and I was getting married. And he said, you've had a charmed life. You're a very lucky guy. He says you had your mom and dad raise you and get you to this point. And then you got me here for 4 years to help you get your degree. And then you got your wife to take care of you for the rest of your life. So he said, you've had a great life. And, it's something so simple but so big. He put that in perspective because I never thought about it. Yeah. And he put that all in perspective, and it happened enough. Yeah. And it won't. Because a lot of him is sitting here.
Yeah. No question. Mika, Frank's wife we were married in what year?
We've been married for 34 years.
Yeah.
We've been together for 39 years.
Yeah, that's impressive. And she is your better half.
Without a question.
In terms of that, she's a wonderful person and will be front and center tonight as well in Mackey Arena. Or is it the Cardinal Court, I believe, is where they're doing it all. And now the good thing at the Hall of Fame is that you don't have to, I think Nate Merritt's going to be doing the interviewing. But what's your message? I mean, when you get a chance, when you go into Hall of Fame, it gives you a chance to reflect on what got you to the place that you were able to get to. What's your message to folks that will be watching tonight?
Well, I want to tell them, a lot of things are bigger than you.
Yeah.
And that's a heck of a lot bigger than me. A lot of those people that are in there, I looked at as when I was a kid, and I looked up to them and I idolized them, and I saw them. I said, going into a Hall of Fame at any level to me is just the pinnacle. Yeah. And boy, and my love for Purdue, and which I have for Purdue and have for Purdue, to be able to get to the pinnacle at Purdue, to me is, I think it says everything. And so everybody should strive for that. I always wanted to be, I can remember as a little kid, I wanted to be in the Hall of Fame. I wanted to be an All-American. I wanted to be a national champion. I wanted to be loved like everybody else and known for doing the right things and helping other people. I think it gives you a platform, and you take that platform and you do the right things by that platform. And so that's an obligation.
Now, we could have our own show just talking about Purdue basketball 1972 to 74 when Frank was playing, because there's a lot of great moments. And I don't know whether Cammie or Gordon, or whether you've got the ability to put some of our pictures that I sent and whether they were able to be downloaded. But if you get the chance to throw them up there, please do. But Frank, obviously, Purdue basketball in your time, and this is your picture, and this is the one I was talking to you about. You still played. You played last in the alumni game in August. That's you sticking your tongue out because you were a little bit winded.
I was tired.
But you played well, and you had 3 or 4 baskets in there at least, right?
Yeah, I had 5 points, and I had 2 3-pointers come in and out, and I was a little disappointed because I didn't get a chance to practice and train.
Yeah.
Because I normally stay in great shape, playing shape. I'm working with kids every day at school on my job, and then coming home and training kids. But I never got myself in shape, but I knew I was in better shape. So I knew I was a heck of a lot better than what I showed, not boasting.
Yeah.
I just was not in shape to do it, but I wanted to be ready to do it. Mentally, I was ready.
Yeah.
But boy, I told Coach Painter over there on that one there, as you see, I said, hey, Coach, get
It's time to
a breather. You know.
Those things are a lot of fun to connect with guys that you coached here as an assistant at Purdue, but guys that you come. This is one of my favorite pictures, only because it's the 1970s Mod Squad. That is the Hall of Fame. Randy Shields, Dick Satterfield, Frank Kendrick in the middle, Bruce Parkinson and John Garrett in that picture. Take me back to that day. It must have been your senior banquet, I'm guessing. And right after, is the plate the NIT championship, or is that was that
MVP.
a Big Ten? MVP? Yeah, I'm
MVP,
74.
and I certainly want to share that with those other 4 guys up there because they were all a part of getting me to that level, be it in practice or in the ball games. But most of all, they're tremendous people, and I really have a lot of love and respect for them. And I want to tell them thanks. I may be sitting there by myself, but you guys are here with me. I have more respect. I have no more respect for anyone than I have for those guys there.
Yeah.
So, but that was just a great moment there. I thought John and I probably could have shared that award.
Yeah, John was pretty good.
Yeah, he was very good.
Yeah,
but it's okay. And I thought that Randy Shields, man, what a tremendous man he is and a tremendous player was. He made me work. Randy and I relationship is really funny because we would go back to high school.
Yeah.
He's from Milwaukee, and we met in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes camp our junior year that summer in the Black Mountains in North Carolina. And our friendship started there, and lo and behold, the same weekend I came into Purdue for my official visit, he came in, and we did not know that one was coming. And when we walked into Coach Bob King's office, we looked up and we see each other. Randy, Frank, you know. So, you know, that's just the type of relationship that we have. And Dick Satterfield, he's just like, we just been so close, you know, throughout. I always had a great love and respect for him. Why? Because I always kind of saw him as a mini me. He had the same passion that I had for the game and for Purdue and for people. Always upbeat and positive.
Yeah, he is.
And always got an answer.
Yeah.
He was always coached by, always had the right answer. But I always like to tell that story about Dick. As I can remember Javon Price and David Luke, and we all used to talk and say, Dick doesn't play. Dick should play more. You know, we always said, why don't Dick play more? You know, so that was kind of an enigma with us. But he got his chance, and I always told this to our teams, even as a coach here at Purdue, and I would tell it to a lot of kids. I would tell my Dick Satterfield story, and you probably remember the game. It was my senior year, his junior year, and he only played, and we played Iowa at Iowa in the old field house, and all of our, Luke fouled out, Parkinson fouled out, all our guards fouled out, and Coach Schouts looked down the bench and he said, Satterfield. Now, Dick hardly played. And when I saw Dick get off the bench, which it didn't surprise me. There was no lack of confidence coming in. And he said, Dick, go in, and I think Dick played the last two overtime.
The overtime, there's a triple overtime game.
Triple overtime. He came in, I think he got in maybe at the end of the first overtime, then he played the last two. And as we started playing, of course, everybody was tired, you were playing, but I always tried to pride myself in being able to outlast you.
Yeah.
But Dick came in, and I watched him, and he went to work. He started operating, and he was knocking it down. Even if I was tired, I saw him after I watched him make 2 or 3 shots in a row. It gave me energy.
Yeah.
Because I said, boy, okay, here's my man. He's getting it done. I got to help him. And we played. We ended up losing, in the triple overtime, 112-111. I'll
Right.
never forget it. It's
Yes,
engraved in
that's
my
correct
soul.
score.
And I went in that locker room, and I cried like a baby. Not because we lost, because I didn't win for Dick.
Yeah. 17 points he put on
17.
in that period of time,
Yeah.
and did well. This is one of my favorite pictures. This is just Frank Kendrick as a when you're we call those the posed action photos. You played for some, in Bruce Parkinson and John Garrett. Tell me about Bruce as a player, because he's another guy that I think is going to end up in the Hall of Fame someday. Still leads Purdue all time in assists. One of the great passers. Just had an unbelievable feel for the game. What was Park like to play with?
He was wonderful to play. Like I tell you, there's two things there. He was wonderful to play with. He was a passer, because I remember when he first came in as a freshman. That was the first year freshman,
Right.
eligible to play. And we were all talking about, they said this guy's good and all that. And once he came out there on the court, boy, he started throwing passes. And, he was hitting you with these passes. And, they're hitting you right there where you can catch it and shoot it. No, you didn't have to reach down or reach up here or over there. It was right there. And everybody was like, God, he can pass, And he's probably, with the exception of Rick Barry, he might be the best passer I've ever played with.
Yeah.
And he understood the game. That was the whole thing. He understood the game inside and out. And I can remember he never even looked over that way one time. Boy, and there was a pass right there. But the flip side of the coin, he was an excellent ball player. He would play Quinn. When we played IU, it was always Quinn, who was the best freshman or the best guard. And
Great battles.
He outplayed him. He outplayed him here. He outplayed him here, and he outplayed him there. And so to me, he was the epitome of that a freshman could play varsity basketball as a freshman. But the other side of the thing is, it was we had Coach George King my first year.
Yeah.
And then Coach Schaus came in my last two. And Coach George King told me, he says, whenever you get the ball, you do what you want with it. He said, if you get a rebound, you take it down the court. You're a guard. So George King loved shooters because he was a shooter. And he gave me that green light. Now, Coach Schaus says, now what I want you to do, if you get the rebound, I want you to give it to Bruce and then run and fill the lane. And so Dick said, you had a little resentment towards that, didn't you? I said, yeah, it wasn't towards Bruce. It was just I thought that took away from my game. But it was okay because it was the better of the team.
Yeah. And you guys came together, and really, and this is a picture of yourself as an assistant coach. We're going to talk about those days with Woody Austin after a win, I believe, over Indiana, one of the sweetest wins from a Purdue fan's perspective in the last 20, 30 years. But I wanted to ask one more thing about the NIT team. That was a team that kind of, ranked 11th in the country. Back if it was a 64-team tournament, you probably would have been a 2 or 3 seed heading into the NCAA. You win the NIT, beat North Carolina in the first round, and come on and beat Utah to win the championship. What was that experience like, being able to go to New York and spend basically a week and a half, 2 weeks in New York playing for this championship?
It was really, there was a lot of different emotions in there for a lot of different reasons. They're all good, though.
Yeah.
Going into New York, Madison Square Garden and playing. I couldn't wait. We all couldn't wait. But I remember we opened up with North Carolina, and they had, of course, they was loaded as usual with All-Americans. And Coach, they had Bobby Jones, who was a senior also, and they said he was the best defensive forward in the country. And I remember right before we went out to play that game, we got ready to go out the locker room, and Coach Schaus grabbed me and pulls me to the side, and he says, Frank, they said that Bobby Jones is the best defensive forward in the country, but I don't think he can guard you. When Coach said that, there was no way in the world he was going to guard me. And I thought, Coach, you're right. And I knew exactly what Coach meant and what he wanted. So we went right out there and we played that game, Carolina, and obviously the outcome, we won the ball game.
Got way behind and came back though.
Right.
Yes, you were down 15 or so in that game.
We didn't know how to quit. This team did not know how to quit. You had great guys, great competitors. And then as we went on, we won that game. And the second game, which a lot of people forget, we played Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So that was an emotional because that was a school that I was going to go to.
Right. Jacksonville was a big deal because of Artis Gilmore and Pembroke Burroughs III and Rex Morgan and those guys.
Right.
That's why you were looking at them.
Von Witter came in. I had a tremendous visit there and loved Artis Gilmore, and they were just wonderful. And I didn't go. So there was Henry Williams who was there, and so we're going to play each other. But we won the game.
Yeah.
That's what was important.
Yeah.
We won the game. I think I may have tried a little
Yeah.
too hard in that game, but I certainly wanted to win. And then obviously that takes us to the championship game, to Utah, who was loaded with Mike Sojourner, Tiki Burton, Tyrone Medley.
Yeah.
They're an excellent club. Now, I thought we had an advantage. Why? Because we had played them on the way back from Hawaii in the Rainbow Classic
That's
at
right.
Christmas in Salt Lake City. We flew right back from Hawaii to Salt Lake City. On New Year's Day, we played them. I'll never forget them. And they beat us by a point in there. And I don't never like to say the referees beat us.
Yeah,
but-
there's a bad goaltending call late, as I recall.
yeah, some calls when, the home team late. And so we had a sour taste in them off, and we always said, well, I'd love to play them again. And lo and behold, there they were.
Yeah.
And we got to play them, so there was no way we were going to lose that ball game.
Well, that was a tough game. I mean,
Yeah,
it was not an easy
tough.
win.
We knew
but-
it was going to be tough,
Yeah.
but we were going to win that game because we had a lot of incentive to win it, for not only just winning the national championship and a team that beat us on their home court, and we didn't like the way it ended.
Yeah.
And we had a few like that brought back a bitter taste at the last game of the season at Indiana,
Yeah.
which possibly, things going the right way, could have put us in the NCAA tournament. So
There's a tough game and some funny calls in the Assembly Hall.
strange calls. And,
Still don't remember that.
so, it's, but no hatred towards Indiana, nothing but respect and love.
Yeah.
Had tremendous respect and love. And I've always had that for any state school in the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
I pull for all of our schools.
Yeah. They and you come back, and one of the great things, the magic of Mackey Arena, you've been going to games or been part of games there since the early 70s, but your return home, as I recall, about 12,000 people in Mackey Arena waiting for you on a Sunday night. It was an emotional deal because Jerry Nichols was a fine player that had a catastrophic knee injury and had surgery, I think, by the time he'd come back and wheeled out. He got hurt in a Hawaii game in New York. But talk about what Mackey Arena has meant to you and the fans, because you have always been a crowd favorite because of the way you played, and that was a case in point of just that love that Purdue fans had for this basketball team that night.
Yeah, it's tremendous. Let me first say, like you said, that night after winning, and I'll never forget, we came home, we flew into Chicago, coming back from New York, and we took the bus down here, and we got here, I think it was about between 1 and 1:30 in the morning.
Late.
And I remember as we were coming down Northwestern Avenue towards campus, towards the arena there, everyone was asleep. Everybody was knocked out. And somebody hollered, I don't know if it was a manager or one of the players, they hollered out, "Look at all those people in those cars." And everybody pops up.
Yeah.
And you look out, it was just a sea of people and a sea of cars. And boy, your fatigue just left.
Yeah.
And and then to come through, you see the smiles on everybody's face, how happy everyone is, and to come down and into that tunnel in Mackey and go down and come out on that floor, which, like you said to me, I'll never forget my last game there. I cried the whole game.
Yeah.
I came out, I came through the tunnel, and I was crying, and jump ball, I was crying. And I cried virtually the whole game. What it means to me, I don't even know if I can put it in words.
Yeah.
I just hope that the people enjoy watching me play as much as I enjoyed playing for them.
Yeah. Well, I think they did.
They were tremendous. They were the best crowd.
Yeah.
It was the toughest place to play in the Big Ten. Now, as an opponent, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew it was tough. I knew I never expected you to beat me in there. But as I talked to everybody around the Big Ten conference, they would say, "We hate coming in there.
Yeah.
That's not a good place to play if you're a visitor." They said, "But God, it's incredible. That crowd." Then it was just so loud,
Yeah.
that noise, and it was constant.
Yeah.
It stayed there. It never left. There were never any lows. It was there. And it just jumped all on the opponents. And you could see a lot of your opponents, you beat them before the game started.
Yeah.
And boy, playing before those people there, they were very passionate about their basketball, about their team, about their Boilers. It was tremendous. That was one of the saddest parts of my career, playing that last game.
Yeah. That story of Frank Kendrick, like I said, we're going to have you on again because we've got a lot to hit. But you go on and obviously play professionally, play overseas, come back as an assistant, recruit one of the greatest players in the history of Purdue basketball, if not the greatest, in Glenn Robinson. What was that like for you, and having this one, having a guy like him, and taking a team that almost got to the Elite Eight? Probably could have been a Final Four team. Some circumstances around Glenn's injury and all that. But what was that like for you?
It was tremendous, because I always, when I'm out with other great players, whether we're golfing or whatever, we're talking about basketball, and I know Jerry Sixteen and I would talk about it, and I talk to a lot of guys. But when you feel like you're a player yourself, you ever, as guys, ever play, because Jerry played with Bird at Boston and whatever.
Yeah.
So, playing with a guy or being the guy, thinking that every time you go on the court to play a game with this guy, you know you're going to win. You know you're going to win this ball game. Jerry had that. I had that with Rick Barry. I thought we were going to win every game that we played. And that is a tremendous feeling. That's an unbelievable feeling. And as a coach, we had Glenn. I thought we'd win every game because he had that uncanny and unique ability to just keep going to another level when need be. He would just keep racing. Why? Because he was an unbelievable competitor. He was an unbelievable talent. He loved the game, and he loved Purdue, and he hated losing.
Yeah.
And my quote always was to players, when you hate losing more than you love winning, you'll find a way to win. And that was the way he was. And he took everybody else and gave them that type of attitude and that type of confidence. Now, I'll tell you a story. Now, he's tough. I remember when we went up to play his last year, his junior year, we went up to Alaska to play in the Great Alaskan Shootout. And he never cared about any records or any points or anything. He just wanted to win. And everything else was gravy. And we flew from here. I think we flew from here. We drove from here to Chicago, flew from Chicago to Seattle, Seattle to Anchorage.
Yeah.
And when we got off, Coach says, "Okay, guys, we go to the hotel, we get our ankles taped, and we're going to practice right away." So we get off, so we think we're going to go practice at a great facility, or even at the place where we were playing the tournament at. No, that wasn't the case. We went to the YMCA there in Alaska, and you're talking about a dump.
Yeah.
The floor was not even wood. It was a tile floor. And everybody was like they had jet lag. Coach, all right, come on, let's get ready to go. Let's play. And we got ready to jump ball there for the practice. And the ball went down on the floor, and all the guys was like jet lag, like I'm tired, don't want to play. And the loose ball went on the floor, and Glenn dove on the floor, on that hard floor after that ball, and rolled over. And you could see the other guys, they looked at each other like, well, if the best player in America's on the floor, we better get down there. And after that, the practice just went, whoom! Yeah. We had an unbelievable practice and breezed through the tournament.
Yeah, and had a phenomenal year that year.
It was great. It was magic. It was great to be around, great to see. Used to love to communicate with him during the game, before the game, and whatever. He'd always say something, "Coach, what do you think of that shot? What do you think of that?" "Hey, it's great. Hey, man, you're the best."
Yeah.
But it was always nice to be able to communicate with players and always try to say something to pump them up, keep them going. Yeah.
Your time at Purdue as an assistant didn't end the way you wanted to, but what did you learn from that experience? Because you changed, got out of coaching, and have gone into doing many other things. You still haven't lost your love for basketball. But what did that experience teach you in terms of how life works and how things change?
Well, taught me things happen. Things happen everywhere, and the thing you better embrace first too is it happens to you too.
Yeah.
Whatever happens to the next person can happen to you, and that was probably the most difficult thing in my life, because you love something so much, and you love a place so much, you love the people so much, and for you to be separated from it, that was very difficult. to deal with.
And yet now, in the last 2 or 3 years especially, that you're back and part of things, and I think certainly your friends and fans are a big part of that, are happy about that. How do you feel about that?
Oh, boy, I'm happy as a lark. I just wished it would have happened sooner. Made it happen. It changed my life, not for the worse or not even for the better, but when you love basketball and you love Purdue as much as I did, and you loved all the people here as much as I did, it's hard to not be around it. But the best part about it, there was still more positive than negative. We just had there's people here in West Lafayette and the Lafayette community and great. They was just so tremendous to me and my family, so tremendous. I was very, very blessed that my kids were able to grow up here in a town like West Lafayette, so I still come out far here.
Yeah. All right, and I can't let you get away. We have one last question about Purdue basketball right now, and Matt Painter has some talent, and this is a team going from Biggie Swanigan to Isaac Haas to Vincent Edwards to on down the line. This is a team that's got a lot of good parts to it. What do you see?
I see guard play. We get the guard play going. And the new young man,
Carson Edwards. Do you like him?
I only saw him at the alumni game.
Yeah.
I saw him for 1 minute. That was all I needed to see. He's special. I saw that right away. He was doing some things not many people can do. He's a freshman, but that doesn't matter anymore. He's physically gifted. He's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, he is fun to watch.
I think that those three big guys are going to play well. And more so with him, I think that he's going to make I love Dakota.
Yeah.
And I love Klein.
Yeah.
He's going to make them the players that they're capable of being. And then we got Thompson playing also.
Yeah,
I mean, he's going to make him better. And because it'll take a lot of pressure off of PJ, and PJ be able to do some things that other things that he's great at. And he's smart. He shoots the ball well. But I think Carson will be able to do a little bit of everything. I think he'll bring that out in everybody. So they're going to be fun to watch. I mean, if you want to be physical, we can be physical. If you want to play with finesse, we can play with finesse. If you want to play half court, we can play half court. If you want to run, we can run. So we'll defend. You want that basket, it's not going to be an easy shot coming to the basket. So it'll be good. It'll be interesting. I want to see, and then I want to see how the other kids come along. How they develop and come along and fit in. But I'm excited about the upcoming season.
All right, and Frank Kendrick does one thing well, and that's when he puts his arms around people and talks to them man to man, so to speak. If you were going to have that conversation with Biggie, what would you tell him?
What I tell Biggie is play his game, do what he do best, focus on what he do best, do what the coach asks him to do. You're a tremendous rebounder. Don't worry so much about shooting behind that line. It'll come. Let it happen. Don't put it in his mind. Just let it happen. He's got all the talent. He's got all the skill, and he's got the passion for the game, and he also has a work ethic.
Yeah.
And he's a wonderful young man. So I expect great things from him, but he don't put himself above the team, and I don't think he will.
Yeah.
Put himself above the team. As long as you keep that all together, we're going to have something special there.
All right.
And, looking forward to it.
You will see, if you're going to the football game tomorrow, you'll see Frank honored with his other Hall of Fame inductees. It's really a great class and some neat people, David Bodiah, Travis Dorsch, Roosevelt Colvin, another great Indianapolis product on down the line. And if you get a chance to go to the banquet tonight, obviously, too, that's going to be a special night for all those involved. So, Frank, thank you so much.
Thank you, Al. Hey, Al, I appreciate it. And I'd like to say one more thing, too. I'd like to say, when I was a kid growing up, my friends and I would watch Purdue play, and Dave Shellhouse was playing. And I love teasing Dave, but he was our favorite. We watched. We said, Dave Shellhouse is playing. We got to watch him because we love him because he shot the ball all the time.
Yeah.
But this is what Dave Shellhouse did, and I didn't see too many people throughout my career do this, what Dave did, and I'm going to challenge our guys to do this year and beyond. Dave Shellhouse would shoot the basketball, and he would follow his shot.
Yeah.
A lot of times he would beat the ball to the basket, and if he missed it, he was there to put it back. That's a lost art.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more guys do that. Follow your shot. Dave Showhouse made a living doing it.
He did, and he could score in bunches. All right, we're going to take a short break, bring Brian Newbert on for some relatively quick analysis, but Brian is a concise dude. He'll put it all together and make sense of it. We appreciate that very much, Frank. Again, enjoy tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple hours as well. We'll take a 2-minute break and bring Brian Newbert on for the final segment of Gold and Black Live.